Hi, everyone. So this is the final review for Algebra 1, and we're just going to go through all the problems. Again, please try to work them out first, and if you don't know how to solve it or you don't know how to show your work, then look at the video and then, do it like that. Or you can just do it all, watch it all the way through. Just you watching it, though, is not going to help. What you need to do is you need to actually try and work out the problems yourself. Okay, and this packet is all on Canvas. Ready, let's get started. Oh yeah, we're going to literally do all of them. There are 46 problems. You pick and choose which ones you want to look at, and I'll just go right in order. All right, so number 1, we're going to start pretty easy. These are just called one-step equations because it just requires one step to solve the equations. And a lot of you guys can just do this in your head, like k plus 6 is equal to 11, right? So algebraically, like we know already it's going to be 5 plus 6, so k is equal to 5. But algebraically, this is how we would show our work. Again, we would just subtract 6 on both sides. And when I say both sides, I mean both sides of the equal sign. Okay, just like that. And then the reason why we subtract 6 is because we're adding 6, got to get rid of that so that we just get k by itself. So we get k is equal to 5 because 11 minus 6 is 5. That's it, see? One step. That's it, one step. And then next one, here the x is on the right-hand side. So since it's subtracting 2, we just got to add 2 to both sides of the equal sign. And the 2's are going to cancel out. We just get 7 is equal to x. Or I like to rewrite it as x equals to 7. Either way is fine. But tradition is we like to keep the x's on the left-hand side. All right, moving on. Again, now here, a lot of people would like to say add 16, but it's not adding 16 because this negative 16 is multiplying with 6, or with x6, multiplying with x. And so we're going to actually have to do the opposite. So we're trying to undo multiplying by a negative 16. So we're going to divide by negative 16. We're going to divide both sides by negative 16. And we get x is equal to negative divided by negative is positive. And that's just going to be 20. You can use your calculator here. That's up to you. I just happen to know that that's equal to 20. And also answers are on the back, so please make sure you're checking your work. Okay. And then again, right here, yeah, it's again negative 16 that we're multiplying. So we're going to undo that. So we're going to divide by negative 16. Divide by negative 16. Remember, if this number is a negative, then you need to make sure you're dividing by that negative. I see a lot of people just dividing by the number, but not by the negative, and that's bad days. Don't want that. And then what do we get? We get n is equal to, in my calculator here. So we don't know what that is. We're going to plug it into our calculator. So 224 divided by 16 is going to give you 14. I didn't put the negatives in there because I already know that negative divided by negative is a positive number. So it's going to be positive 14. Okay. Now, those are all one-step equations. Now we're going to get into two-step equations, or, a couple different step equations. Here we go. There are 2 ways to solve this. I'll show you the more traditional way for number 5, and then for number 7, I will show you like another way to do it. And the other way it always works, but then it's not always easier to work with that. All right, so the first method, if you have parentheses, is you want to get rid of them, so you're going to distribute. So what you're going to do, I'm going to just copy down 104 because we're not using that right now. So we're going to distribute this negative 8 with everything inside the parentheses. So negative 8 times v, which is negative 8v, and then negative 8 times negative 2. Remember, minuses and negatives are kind of, interchangeable. We're going to consider to be kind of the same thing. So negative 8 times negative 2 is going to be positive 16, or we're going to say plus 16. So now that we have no more parentheses, now we're going to get rid of the addition and subtraction first. Think of it like reverse of order of operations. We're trying to undo all the things that we're trying to do. And then so we got to get rid of that 16 first. So we're going to subtract 16 on both sides. And then we get 104 minus 16, which is going to be 88 is equal to negative 8v. Right, this cancels out. And when I say cancel out, 16 minus 16 is just 0. So, it doesn't really matter. Because negative 8v plus 0 is just negative 8v. And then from here, we're just going to get rid of the -8 by dividing by -8. And then we're going to just get -11 is equal to V, or V is equal to -11. Either way is okay. Right here, again, two-step equation. There's just 2 steps to get to the variable. So again, get rid of the -7. So we're going to add 7. The reason why I'm picking 7 instead of 17 is because 7 is on the side of X. And the point is to get X by itself, because we want to know, well, what is X, right? What is the X, the number that we don't know? So that's why we're choosing to get rid of the -7 instead of the 17. So all we have left is 4X is equal to 24. And then we're going to just divide both sides by 4. Now we get X is equal to 6. And so if we were to plug that 6 back in there, so 4 times 6 is 24. 24 minus 7 is 17. You see, it works. All right. Now, like I said, I was going to show you the other way to do this. This is not always the best solutions, but sometimes if you can think ahead, it's another way to do it. So if you notice right here, again, we still have parentheses, but this time instead of using the distributive property, like we did above here with the -8, we're just going to divide it out. Because remember, -7 is multiplying with this parentheses. So we're just going to divide everything by -7. And then the -7 over -7 is just 1. And so all we're going to have left is just X plus 4 is equal to, not negative, sorry, is equal to +11. The advantage to this is that you have much smaller numbers. So do you see, like up here, we had to deal with 8, 16, and 104. Here we have like 4 and 11. You see, it's like smaller numbers. And then from here, so this one is just a 2-step equation. Oh, I didn't change my color. Come on now. So again, we're going to get rid of the +4, so we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. All right, and then we're just going to get X is equal to 7. Bam, just like that. All right. M is over here on the right-hand side, so we're going to get rid of everything on the right-hand side. So starting with the 5, so add 5 to both sides. And you're going to get -29 plus 5, which is going to be -24, is equal to -3m. That's a negative. And then we're going to just divide by this -3. And then we're going to have, I'm just going to move my m to the left-hand side because I like to have my variables out on the left. And -24 divided by -3 is going to be +8. Boom, just like that. Right, if you keep your m on the right-hand side, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Moving on, we're just gonna, so this is gonna be like solving equations for days, and then we'll move on to some more stuff. So please, again, please try these out yourself, work on them yourself, and then, because the only way to get better at math is actually to do math. Like if you sit there and watch other people do math, they're gonna get better, but not you, right? You're not gonna get that much better because your brain needs a chance to actually try and work it out. It's like me watching football all day and expecting myself to be a better football player. Like by just sitting there and watching it. It's not going to happen. At least I'm pretty sure. I know it's not going to happen. So again, here on the left-hand side, notice we have like these like terms right here. So we're going to combine them and we're going to just put them together. So 7 plus 6 is just going to be 13. And I can do that because they're on the same side of the equal sign. So they're just on one side. And then, there we go. And now look, guess what? It looks like exactly like what we've been doing, a 2-step equation. So we're going to now just solve it like we would a 2-step equation. You know why? Because it's a 2-step equation. Oh shoot, that's a weird looking 3. There we go. And we get 8m is equal to -32. Divide by 8, you'll notice like the steps are always the same, like they don't really change, okay? You're gonna need to know the skill for all your math career, just your whole life, right? So here we go. So from here, again, combining like terms, see these guys, you see they're both in, they both have n's in there. Those are like terms. So we're gonna combine those together. So n minus 8n, right? If you have one n, and then you're like, you want to take away 8 n's. You can't do that because you only have 1 n, right? So then now we have to borrow some n's, right? How many n's do we need to borrow? We need to borrow 7 of them because we already have 1. So we need to borrow 7 more, right? So this is negative 7n minus 4 is equal to 10. It's equals, okay, and then look at it again. It's another 2-step equation. It always reduces down to this 2-step equation or a 1-step equation, right? And then it's going to be negative 7n is equal to 14. And notice all of these are like nice, like integers. You don't really have to, it's not fractions or anything like that. In algebra 1, we're going to kind of just, it's going to be like that, but I'm going to tell you later on, it's not always going to be like that. It's not going to be nice and pretty like that, okay? It would be nice if it was, but it's not always. So here, n is equal to negative 2. All right, and please make sure you're checking the answers on the back because I'm not, and, you know, sometimes I could be wrong. You know why? Because I'm a human. You know, it's weird. Teachers make mistakes, but it's possible. But if I do, just please let me know and I'll say something about that. Okay, and again, we're going to do the same thing here. Here, I'm going to just try, I'll just distribute this one, and then 12 I'm going to divide. Okay, that's what we'll do. So let's try that out. So we're just going to distribute this negative 5. So we're going to get 145 is equal to negative 5 times 7n is going to be negative 35n. Actually, it's going to be minus, right? Negative 5 times 6 is going to be negative 30 or minus 30. Should just put a minus there. And then we're just going to add 30 to both sides. And I'm going to get 175 is equal to negative 35n. This is out. And again, divide by negative 35. I feel like it's one of those all roads lead to 2-step equations. Like you're going to notice that. And that's going to be n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say maybe 5, 6. No, probably 5. I'm pretty sure it's an odd number. 175 divided by 35. Oh yeah, 5. There we go. I was right. So this is going to be equal to negative 5, right? Why is it negative? Because only one of those were negative. There we go. So here I cannot just divide by 8 straight away. I have, actually, you know what? I can't even, I should have just done the other way around. I can't divide by 8. Well, I can. It's just if I divide by 8, like see, if I divide this by 8, I have to divide this by 8, and I have to divide like everything by 8, right? And then that's 2 8s, not pretty, right? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just like, just kidding. I'm not doing that. So I am going to just distribute this one. So 8 times 8m is going to be 64m. Then 8 times 1 is going to be plus 8. And then I didn't use these yet, so I'm just going to copy those down. Really important that you be nice and neat about it. A lot of you guys, a lot of students, not you guys, but a lot of students like to just take shortcuts and just kind of like write things in haphazard ways. That works, but once you get more complicated equations, it's going to be more complicated and you're not going to understand what you did, and it's going to get confusing. And then you're just going to be like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, so if you already have a good organized way of doing your work, see like how we're doing, it makes life easier. So here again, we combine like terms. See how we have this m right here, the 64m plus the 2m, which is going to give us that 66m. All right, and then we're going to just go straight to step equations again. Do you see what I'm saying? That's all it is. So we get 66m is equal to 462. And then we're just going to divide both sides by 66. And we're going to get m is equal to something. I don't know, 462. 462 divided by 66, which is going to be 7. There we go. All right. You see, oh, these are going to be our last 2 of these kinds of problems. And then we're going to move on to the next stuff. All right, so, okay, here I can do it. Okay, so I only, do you see how I only just have the parentheses over here? So technically I can just divide everything by -1. Or I can just, I guess, just multiply it out. That might have just been easier, but just showing you that it's possible. You can do that. So those negatives cancel out and we just get x plus 4 is equal to -26 minus 4x. See what I'm saying? And now we have variables on both sides. So we want to get the variables together. So the way we do that is we're just going to, there's two options. I could either subtract x on both sides or you could add 4x on both sides. So I'm just going to go with adding 4x on both sides. Okay, and so then -4x, if we're trying to get rid of the 4 and the x, we have to either add or subtract it. We cannot multiply that or divide it because that wouldn't get rid of the whole thing, right? That just now becomes 0. And then we're going to rewrite it. So this is going to be 5x plus 4 is equal to -26. And then again, now it's a two-step equation, right? So again, subtract 4 on both sides. And you're going to get 5x is equal to -30. And then divide by 5. What do we get? X is equal to -6. Bam, just like that. All right, same thing over here. And we're going to just distribute this -7. So remember, a minus is the same thing as a plus negative. That's why I always consider the minus to be like a negative. That's what we do. So I'm not using the k, so I'm just going to leave the k there. And so -7 times 7 is going to be -49. -7 times 8k is going to be -56k is equal to 7 plus k. It's like that. And now I notice over here I have like terms. So I want to put those terms together, these guys, because they're on the same side. And so I'm just going to rewrite this. So this is going to be -55k minus 49 is equal to 7 plus k. Right, and let's get rid of this, the minus k over here, or the k. So I'm just going to go minus k. I like to do the k's first and get the k's together, and then do the regular number, like the constants. I will do those second. So I go -56k minus 49 is equal to 7. And notice right here, this is a two-step equation, right? And then we're just going to add 49 to both sides. And you get -56k is equal to 56. What do you get there? And then divide by -56. And you're just going to get k is equal to -1. Woo! And that is the finish of solving for, just solving equations, just solving for x, or solving for the variable, because they're not always x, right? All right, now we're going to go into systems, and there's a couple ways to solve this. If you see the y's by itself, then you can technically do elimination, but you could also do substitution. Like substitution is the preferred method. All right, I'll show you how to do it with elimination. You can kind of see which way you want, but honestly, I think substitution is pretty easy. So since these are both equal to y, that means that since they're like -4x minus 17 is equal to y, and 3x plus 1 is equal to y, that means, that means that this -4x minus 17 has to equal 3x plus 11, right? Because they're both equal. They're both equal. Oops, that's not good. They're both equal to y. Like they're both equal to the same thing, right? So now, let me just do a little bit of highlighting here. So here's our yellow part right there. Here's our blue part right here. That's where that's coming from. All right, so let's solve this. Just looks like very much like what we've been doing now, right? So I'm going to get the variables on one side. So I'm just going to add 4x. You could have subtracted 3x and that would have been fine as well. All right, and then we're going to get -17 is equal to 7x plus 11. And then we're going to keep going. Now look at it. Two-step equation. Told you. All roads lead back to two-step equations. So subtract 11. And we get negative 20. Don't get confused with those minuses, right? So this is negative 28 is equal to 7x. Now we're just going to divide by 7. And we're going to get x is equal to negative 4. Ooh. I went into the trap. Okay, we're not done yet. Because remember, we just found the x, and we're actually doing solving systems, which means we need to find the x and the y. Because remember, if we're to graph it, they meet at a point like this, right? And we want to know, where do they meet? Like, what is that point that they meet at? So we know that the x coordinate is negative 4, but we don't know what the y coordinate is, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to just plug it into either the top or the bottom equation. It doesn't matter, because it's going to meet at the same spot. So it'll be a solution for either. So I'm going to use the bottom one. So I'm going to use this bottom one here. So we're going to raw y is equal to 3. And then instead of x, we're going to put in negative 4, because we know what x is now. Negative 4 plus 11. Let me see if I could highlight this. So this is x plus negative 4. That's what that is, and that's what that is. Colors help, I think. At least for me, they do. And then we're going to just simplify this. So y is equal to 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12, plus 11. And then y is equal to negative 1. So if x is equal to negative 4, y is equal to negative 1. There is our ordered pair. That is the point where they're meeting. Negative 4, negative 1. So you want to get this kind of solution for your answers. All right, so let's try that again. So we're going to set these equal to each other. So negative 3x minus 2 is equal to negative 4x minus 4. Let's go. And so we're just going to, again, combine like terms. So we're going to just get the x's together. I'm going to add 4x, both sides. And then what do we get? So we get negative 3 plus 4 is going to be 1x, or you can just say x, right? X minus 2 is equal to negative 4. And then I was doing purple for some strange reason. Oh, you see I'm adding 4 on both sides? Shouldn't have added 4 on both sides. The reason why is because if we did, like, this becomes 0. Yeah, which is great and all, but what do we get here? X plus 2. Did I solve for x? Is x by itself? No, right? So I'm going to just kind of, right, so what should we have done? Instead of adding 4, we should be adding 2. Sorry about that. But that, I mean, you can add 4 to both sides, but it's not going to really help you with anything. So you're just kind of adding extra steps in there that you don't need to. And you just get x is equal to negative 2. Equal to right there. Now that we have the x, we got to find the y. So we're going to plug this one into the top one this time, just because it looks a little bit easier. I mean, it's about the same, I think. So y is equal to negative 3. And instead of x, we're going to put a negative 2. So notice I'm putting a dot there. I'm not making this negative 2 smaller. I'm not making it up here. We're not doing any of that. And you can either put a dot there, or you can put parentheses. One of the two. Either one is fine. I usually do the dot just because I'm used to that. And then minus 2. All right, so then y is equal to negative 3 times negative 2, which is positive 6 minus 2. So that means that that's equal to 4. So we got the point negative 2, 4. That's our answer. All right, and we're going to do a couple more. Again, please pause, try it yourself. Give your brain a chance. My brain already knows how to do this. We're going to set these two guys equal to each other. So 2x minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 8. In this case, I am going to move the 2 over to the right. I like to keep my x's positive. It's just a preference that I have. So I can either move them to the right. If you like always moving to the x's to the left, then please try it out, experiment. Just subtract 4x on both sides. You will still get the right answer. You'll still get the same answer, unless you're doing some like addition wrong or whatever, but you'll still get the answer. If you're doing everything right, you'll get the same answer. So negative 2 is equal to 2x minus 8. And then what do we have? Now again, two-step equation. You're gonna take 2. Here's the first step. Get rid of the constant. And then you're going to get 6 is equal to 2x. And then we're going to divide out the coefficient. That's going to be x is equal to 3, or 3 is equal to x, whichever way. All right, and then from here, again, we're going to just plug this into one of the equations. I'm going to take the top one. It looks a little easier. Y is equal to 2 times 3 minus 2. And again, this number, this 3, is this x right here, which is this 3 right here. All right, and then that's going to be y is equal to 2 times 3, which is 6, minus 2, which is 4. I'm going to box it. Bad old habits die hard. So this is going to be 3, 4. Please make sure you put the parentheses around it so you're indicating that it's a point, right? And not just random 2 numbers there, right? This is called an ordered pair because orders matters. All right, and I did tell you that I was going to show you the elimination way, which I will. If you want to eliminate it, it'll kind of give us a good segue into a little later on. Okay, this is still substitution, but I'm just saying, just so that you can see it, at least you've seen it before. So if I want to eliminate the y's, since the y's are already looking kind of the same, I just need one of them to be a negative. So I'm just going to multiply this left side by -1 and also the right side by -1. All right, so I'm going to copy down the top part. So the top equation is y equals 3x plus 22. The bottom equation is now going to be -y is equal to negative times positive is positive 2x plus 8. So now we have the 2 equations, and now we're going to add them up. So notice that the y minus y, what happens? That just becomes 0, right? And that's going to be 5x, and 22 plus 8 is just going to be 30. See what I'm saying? So this is elimination. So we're eliminating either the x or the y. So again, this is just another way to solve it. Do you have to do it this way? No, I would prefer just doing it through substitution. It's just easier, right? But this is a completely valid way of doing it. And then from here, we're just going to get the x by itself, just like we've been doing. It's just a 2-step equation. That's supposed to be 30, by the way. Sorry about that. So that's going to be -30 is equal to 5x. And then divide by 5. And we get x is equal to -6, right? And we don't know the y yet, so we're just going to plug it in. Again, it's the same thing as we've been doing before. We're going to either plug it into the top or the bottom. I'm going with the top. We use that right here. So y is equal to 3 times -6 plus 22. So y is equal to -18 plus 22. So y is equal to 4. So we get x is -6, y is equal to 4. Yay. So those are substitution when you have a both in slope-intercept form. And now, what if they look like this, where you have one in slope-intercept form and the other in standard form? Like, what do you do, right? This one, the easiest way to do this is just by substitution. Substitution is the way to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this -2x plus 11, and we're going to plug it into that y right there. Like, we're going to squeeze that all into there. So what we're going to get is, let's see if I can show you. So -4x plus 3. Now, instead of y, what is y also equal to? This -2x plus 11. Let me see if I can color coordinate it, right, is equal to -17. Now, do you see I wrote the exact top part right here? So -4x plus 3, but instead of y, I put in the other thing that y is equal to. Since y is equal to -2x plus 11, we can substitute that in because they're the same. This looks different, but it's the same thing. So now it's just like the problems that we had previously, right? Where you have the parentheses and you got to get rid of it. So how to get rid of it? Got to do distributive property. All right, let's go. Oh, I don't need this. I'm not using this -4x yet, so I'm just going to copy that down. And then I'm going to be like 3 times -2x is going to be -6x. 3 times 11 is going to be 33. I'm not using this -17, so I'm just going to copy that down. And again, right here on the left, we can combine like terms, so that's what we're going to do. So negative 4x minus 6x is going to be minus 10x plus 33 is equal to negative 17. Again, what is this? Two-step equation. I'm going to hear that for days. So subtract 33. And you're going to get negative 10x is equal to negative 50. And then we're going to divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10, and x is equal to positive 5. Right now that we have the x, how do we get the y? Honestly, it's easier just to use the bottom equation because it's already solved for y. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to be like, oh, let's use green. So y equals negative 2. And instead of x, we're going to put in the 5 plus 11. We'll get y is equal to negative 10 plus 11. So y is equal to 1. So here we got x is 5, y is 1. Done. That's the point. That's where they meet. Let's keep on going. We're going to practice 3 more times. Right, do you see that? 3 more times. So again, here is our y. We're going to just plug that right in there into the other equation. So again, I'm not using negative 8x, so I'm going to write that down. And then I'm going to be like minus 3 times, and then minus 24. So what is that y equal to? Negative 6x plus 8. And the reason why we do this is so that we can get one variable. Okay. And then let's go. Let's go do a thing. So this is going to be not using the negative 8x. So we're going to have negative 3 times negative 6 is going to be positive 18x. Negative 3 times 8 is going to be minus 24. Equal to negative 24. Right, and then again, we're going to combine like terms. So we got these two guys right here. That's going to be 10x minus 24 is equal to minus 24. Ooh, it's getting interesting. So minus 24, again, two-step equation. We're just going to add 24 to both sides. What do we get? And x is equal to 0. Well, what's x equal to then? Divide by 10. Algebraically, that's what we would do. And we would say x is equal to 0. How to get y? Plug it in. Plug it in right here. So y is equal to negative 6. And instead of x, we're going to plug in 0 plus 8. We're finishing up that equation. So y is equal to negative 6 plus times 0, which is 0, plus 1, plus 8. So that's going to be just 8. So we got 0, 8. Just like that. All right, moving on to the next 2 problems. There we go. And so these are the last of the elimination, the substitution stuff. Goodness, I cannot talk. All right, one more time. Let's try this out. So we're saying that this, okay, but regardless of what, so we're taking this guy right here and we're going to put it into this y. That's what I'm trying to say. So here we go. So we're going to have 2x plus 6. And instead of y, we're going to put in 8x minus 16 is equal to 4. Do not forget to close the parentheses and then to equal to 4. Okay. And then from here, again, I'm just going to do what we've been doing, like get rid of the parentheses by distributing. There we go. Find my mouse for a second. So we got 2x plus 6 times 8, which is going to be 48x. 6 times 16 is going to be negative 96 is equal to 4. Right, again, combine like terms. We got these 2 like terms right here. So that's going to be 2x plus 48x, which is 50x. Ooh, that's an x. Minus 96 is equal to 4. And we're going to, again, see, two-step equation. Add 96 to both sides. And you're going to get 50x is equal to 100. Ooh, which means, what do we get for x? So we're just going to go divide by 50 on both sides. And we get x is equal to 2. It's very monochromatic solving of solutions, solving of systems. All right, and then we're going to just plug this 2 into the other equation, the one that's solved for y. So y is equal to, honestly, you could do it for the other one. It's just easier to do it one where it's already solved for y. So 8, and instead of x, we're going to put in 2 minus 16. So y is equal to 8 times 2, which is 16 minus 16, which means that that's just going to be 0. So answer is 2, 0. So it's right there on the x-axis. That's where they meet. All right, so where do these two meet? Like two people, right? When do they meet? Right? This is where you can find you can pinpoint exactly where they meet, right? Because they're just walking along, minding their own business. And all of a sudden, boom, they just meet each other, right? Love story, guys. So we're gonna plug in this y for this, all the 3x minus 4, 4x minus 19 for this y, oh my goodness. So here we go. So negative 3x plus 4 times 4x minus 19 is equal to negative 11, right? Again, this is just rewriting the first equation, just plugging in that what y is into the y. And then again, distribute. So it's going to be plus 16x minus 76 is equal to negative 11. Going to combine like terms, and that's just going to be 13x, because negative 3x plus 6x is 13x. And then again, two-step equation. So we're going to add 76. Sorry, my add doesn't look very good, huh? And we could just get 13x is equal to 65. And then we're just going to divide both sides by 13. And we get x is equal to probably 1, 2, 3, probably 5. I'll say 5. Let's just verify. 65 divided by 13. Oh, good, see? 5. Does that look backwards to you? Perhaps. You may not have seen that. Again, so that's the x coordinate. So we want to find the y coordinates. So we're going to just plug it into the bottom. So 4 times 5 minus 19. And we know that 4 times 5 is 20 minus 19, which is just going to be 1. Again, our coordinate is 5, 1. You need to remember to do the x and the y. All right, so now moving on now to systems by elimination. This is more of my favorite. So we're going to see, the reason why it's called elimination because we're trying to eliminate either the x or the y. Because right now we can't solve it because we have 2 variables. We don't want that. So we want to be able to make just 1 variable. So what we're going to do is you're going to look for either the x or y. I'm looking to eliminate the y in this case because it's already 10y, 10y. They look exactly the same. Actually, they are exactly the same. The only thing I want to do is I want to make sure that one of them is a negative, or a minus, right? So that when we add them up, it will cancel out. So I'm just going to multiply the bottom by -1, right? So what I like to do is I like to just copy down the top equation. Still can't change it. Can't change the color. So we got 10x plus 10y is equal to 0. Just copying it down. And on the bottom equation, I'm going to now multiply everything by -1. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's going to be -x minus 10y is equal to -27. And then if I add them together, now my y's cancel out, right? Because 10y minus 10y is 0 y's. It's just 0. And 10x minus x is going to be 9x is equal to -27. 0 minus 27 is -27. And then we're going to just divide by 9. And x is equal to -3. Now we're going to find the y coordinate. It looks like the bottom one. We use the top one because we do have 0. Let's try the top one then. So we'll try the top one right there. If you want to use the bottom one, go for it. The answer will be the same. So 10 times -3 plus 10y is equal to 0. All right, and now I'm going to multiply that. So that's going to be -30 plus 10y is equal to 0. Again, two-step equation. We're going to add 30 to both sides. And we get 10y is equal to 30. That's 0. And again, divide by 10. Y is equal to 3. So x is -3, y is 3. That's where they meet. The love story for the ages, guys. I still can't change my colors. All right. Here, looks like the x's look like it's a better fit to cancel out just because they look exactly the same. Not to say that we can do that for the y's, but we do need to multiply one of them by negative. So I'm going to do that to the top one, bottom one. I'm going to do it to the bottom one. You can do it to the top or bottom. Honestly, it does not matter. So multiply by -1. So again, I'm going to just write out copy the top equation. And I'm going to multiply out my bottom equation. So that's, oops, just kidding. It's going to be a positive 7x minus y is equal to -13. And now we're going to add these two equations together. My x's cancel out. They are eliminated. And 2y minus y is just y is equal to -1. Oh, already solved for. Nothing to divide because just 1, right? And then we're going to just plug this in. I'm going to plug this into the bottom one. So I got -7x minus 1 is equal to 13. Remember, y is just right there, so it's just -1. And then, again, two-step equation. So add 1 to both sides. -7x is equal to 14. Divide by -7, x is equal to -2. So again, my x, remember x comes first, so -2, -1. There you go. All right, so let's practice that one more time, or 2 more times, or 4 more times. Lots to practice. Yeah, we're just doing this 4 more times here. So these are going to get slightly harder. If you notice right here, now the x's or the y's, none of them are the same. Then what do you do, right? So we're going to actually start multiplying other numbers other than -1, right? So I want to multiply out the x. I want to eliminate the x's. And so the way I'm going to do that, I notice the top, I'm going to just multiply that by 2. And the reason why I'm going to multiply that by 2 is because 2 times 3 is 6, right? And this is already negative, so I want to keep that negative there. So that's what we're going to do. So 2 times -3x is going to be -6x. Don't forget to multiply all of it. So 2 times 5 is going to be plus 10y. And then 2 times 22 is going to be 44. Bottom, not doing anything to it because I already like it to be 6x, like that's fine. So we're just going to go 6x plus 15y is equal to 6. X's cancel out, eliminated. 10y plus 15y is 25y is equal to 50. Oh, good, I can change it now. Now we're going to divide both sides by 25. Oh, look, see how it makes a difference? It's no more just monochromatic. So y is equal to 2. All right, and then now we just need to figure out x. So we're going to try to put that on the bottom one. Let's put that on the bottom one. You could put on the top one if you feel like that's easier, right? So it's going to be 6x plus 15, and our y is going to be 2. Make sure you're plugging in for the correct variable. I had some people get the correct answer for the y, and then they just plug that in for x. Don't ask why. Pun totally intended. All right, and then we're just going to simplify this multiplication first. So it's going to be 6x plus 30 is equal to 6. And then we're going to, again, two-step equations. So subtract 30 on both sides. And we get 6x is equal to negative 24. We're going to divide by 6. And you get x is equal to negative 4. And so our answer is going to be negative 4, 2. Just like that. Gonna keep on going. All right. I'm going to eliminate. Let's eliminate the, but it's going to be so big. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking aloud. So if I eliminate the y, because that makes it, because if I just multiply by negative 9, then it'll look the exact same, right? But then that means I have to multiply this 22 by 9. And I don't really want to do that because I'm trying to avoid my calculator. I mean, you can totally use a calculator. I'm just, it's a video. I don't want to waste time on that. So I'm going to eliminate the x's this time because it's a smaller number, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this top number by, since they're both negative, I don't want both of them to be negative, so I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. All right, everything by negative 2. So what I would get is negative 2 times negative 3x, which is 6x. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y, or minus 2y. And negative 2 times negative 22 is going to be positive 43. I'm going to copy the bottom one straight. So negative 6x plus 9y is equal to negative 9. And then what do I get? Cancel out the x's, and I'm going to get 7y is equal to 35. What do we do from here? Divide by 7. And we get y is equal to 5. Now we're going to plug it in. Now I think I'm going to try putting it on the top. So we're going to put in, let's see here, negative 3x plus my y is 5. There's nothing to multiply with, so I'm just going straight up with it. So it's equal to negative 22. Then from here, again, it's a two-step equation. So we're just going to be like minus 5 on both sides. And then we're going to have, let's use red. So that cancels out. We got negative 3x is equal to negative 27. And then how do we get rid of that other stuff? Yes, divide by negative 3. I like colors. They're so much prettier now. And so x is equal to 9. So x is 9, y is 5. That's the point where they meet. You know, the sad thing about these equations that they only meet once and they never meet again. That's so sad. Are there people in your lives like that where you just meet them only once and that's it? So make the meeting a good one. Leave a positive impression. All right, so here we go. X's or Y's? Ooh. This time, okay, I know the easier way would just be to multiply the bottom by 3 so that we could get the X's eliminated. But what if we want to just solve for, eliminate the Y instead, right? Let's try it out. So the way we would do that, we're like thinking, well, what does 2 and 3 both go into? Well, I know it could be like 30, right? 3 goes into 30, 2 goes into 30, but 30 is huge, right? I have to multiply by big numbers, right? So it's good to find the lowest common multiple, which means it's like find the smallest number that 3 and 2 both go into, right? Which would be like 6, because 3 goes into 6 and 2 goes into 6. So it's like, that's what you want. All right, so here we go. In order to get these both to be 6, I have to multiply the top one, because 3 times 2 is 6, so I'm going to multiply by 2. The bottom one, I'm going to multiply by 3. Okay, remember we did this in class before? There we go. Now let's multiply them out. Notice that I'm multiplying by 2 positive numbers because one of them is already a plus, one of them is already a minus. So we don't have to worry about that. So top one, 2 times 12. It's going to be 24x plus 6y plus negative 24. Right, and the bottom, I made that purple, so that's going to be 3 times negative 4, negative 12x minus 6y is equal to 12. Make sure you're multiplying everything with that 3, okay, every single term. And then from here, if you notice, right, oh, look, y's cancel out. So what do we have left? This is just going to be 12x is equal to negative 12. And then what do we have? We're going to divide by 12. And we get x is equal to negative 1. Right, now we know the x. Now we just got to figure out what the y is. I'm going to use the bottom equation just because it looks a bit simpler. There's my bottom equation right here. So negative 4, oh, and instead of x, I'm going to put in negative 1. I almost put in for y. Bad days right there. Minus 2y is equal to 4. All right, I'm going to multiply those out. So that's just going to be 4 minus 2y is equal to 4. Subtract 4 on both sides because of this left-hand side 4 cancels out. But then that means also our right-hand side cancels out. So what does that mean? You get negative 2y is equal to 0. In this case, we do put the 0 because there's nothing else there. Like everything else canceled out. So you need to put a number there. Normally we wouldn't. Like notice we didn't put a 0 for this one, right? But we do here because there's nothing else left. And then we're just going to divide by negative 2. And 0 divided by negative 2 is just going to be 0. We get negative 1, 0. It's still an answer. All right, so we're going to try this other one right here on the right-hand side. This is our last one. And I'm going to just cancel out the y's because I just need to multiply the top one by 2, or technically negative 2, to get them to be exactly the same, but like, you know, one's positive, one negative. So we'll multiply the top one by negative 2. So we're going to get negative 12x plus 8y is equal to negative 16. Bottom number, exactly the same. We're not doing anything to it. We just copy it. And so again, we're adding them. So the 8y minus 8y are 0. And then this is going to be negative 2x is equal to negative 4. And then we're going to divide by negative 2. And we're going to get x is equal to positive 2. And which one shall we put it in? Shall we try the top one? So we got 6 times x, which is 2, minus 4y is equal to 8. So we get 12 minus 4y is equal to 8. What do we do from there? Subtract 12 on both sides. And we get negative 4y is equal to negative 4. What do we do from there? Divide by negative 4. And then we get y is equal to positive 1. So that's going to be 2, 1. Okay, so now we've done solving systems by elimination and substitution. And so we're going to now get into some graphing. So the rest of the stuff, well, the most of this stuff is graphing. There's still a little bit of solving to do for at the very end, but we're going into graphing now. Are you ready? All right. All right, so we're going to graph this. So there are 2 things you need to know. You need to first know where to start, and then how, like, where to start the line, and then how, like, tilted that line is going to be, right? So if you notice right here, there's no number here. This is a number that the no number here tells us where to start. So there's no number here. You automatically assume it's like a plus 0. Because, you know, negative 2/3 x plus 0 is negative 2/3 x, right? And so this is going to be our starting point. Okay, honestly, and technically we call it, officially we call it the y-intercept, which would be here at 0. It's always on the y-axis. It's never going to be on the x-axis. It's on the y-axis. Okay, so here's our y. See how it's labeled y. Okay, so now that's our starting point. And then now, okay, so through this point, there's like a lot of different ways you could put a line through this point, right? So this will tell us how tilted it's going to be, like in which direction, like is it this way, is it this way, like does it like almost flat, is it like almost straight up, like straight up. So that's what we're going to do. So here, a couple different things. A lot of you guys like to think of it. Okay, so remember, so that's our slope. So think about it like rise over run, right? Think about, because how do you rise? You rise up and down, right? I don't know, do you rise down? But anyways, it talks about our up or down, and the run talks about our left and right, okay? So the rise, this negative only goes to one of them. You can choose which one it goes to. It could go to the top or it could go to the bottom, but it can't go for both. Because if it goes for both, you just like canceled out your negative, like, and then it's now positive. It can't do that. So we're just going to bring that one to the top. So this one we're going to say is going to go, this is going to go down 2. And then this one, the bottom one, since that's positive 3, because we took the negative up top, that's going to be to the right 3. So down 2 to the right 3. So remember our starting point? So at the starting point, we're going to go down 2, 1, 2, and then to the right 3. So right here. Okay. So please don't start when you at 0, 0, that's not 1. And then 2. It's you, yeah. So anyways, so you're going to keep on. I like to do that a couple of times. So down to the right 3. Or you could do the exact opposite to go to the other side, before part, right? So instead of going down 2, we're going to go up 2 and then to the left 3. Do you see how it like stays in line with all of our other points? That's efficient. All right, and then we're going to just draw that line going right through. Okay, I'm going to, oh shoot. Pretend this is straight. And normally you would use a ruler, but I'm on a computer and it doesn't work like that. Ooh, I wonder if I could do line. Let's do this. Oh, see, nice. Okay, let's see if I can make it like that, and I can just, oh shoot. Let me try this again. I can do this. And then move that over. Okay, you see how it doesn't really work? Okay, I'm trying. It's not working very well, but it's not terrible. There we go. There's my line, right? And then erase some of this stuff. Okay. Oh, see, there we go. And normally we want our line to. Okay, there we go. Ah, I like that. All right, there we go. So see how the line just goes like that? That's what we're going to do every single time. All right. Again, let's start with our starting point for this one. Our starting point is a number that's by itself, that is not attached to the x, because that's the one that our slope is. Our slope is. So this can be our starting point. Begin at -4. And you see here, there's no number. And when there's no number, it's not a 0, because 0 times x is what? 0. It's not x. So this is actually like that let me make this purple. It's like that invisible 1, right? So this is going to be, this right here is -1 over 1, right? Which means we're going to go down 1 and to the right 1, or up 1 and to the left 1. Okay, so again, from this starting point, because remember, we got to know where to start. So down 1 to the right 1 is going to look like this, or up 1 to the left 1. I'm doing all the dots just because it helps me to be more accurate, especially with this thing right here. Oh, that's not bad, right? That's pretty good. That's like decent. All right, let me see if I can manage to pick that up just a little. Okay, I made it worse. It was not better, that was worse. Okay, there we go. It's like that. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to use the skill that we just learned to solve systems. Okay? 2 lines cross. Now you can actually see these equations meet, where they meet and where they leave each other. The same. All right, again, slope-intercept form. We're going to start with our starting point right here. So this is +4. We're going to be up here at +4. Right, and then this, remember the slope tells us if there's no number there, it means it's just going to be 1 over 1, right? So that means up 1 to the right 1, or down 1 to the left 1. They were both positive, So either they're both going to be positive or they're both going to be negative, right? Make it parallel and then match. Oh, mix. Oh, didn't mean that. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this. All right, and then just put it right there. Okay, and please make sure you're putting arrows on your lines. That will be important, right? Because they do continue on forever and ever. It doesn't just stop right here at like -5 and 1. It goes on forever. All right, again. Oh, I was gonna just go on. That's not good. Let's do another starting point. This is gonna be my +1. So we're gonna start right here at 1. And then my other point, let's make that light blue. So again, this is going to tell me my slope, right? So I'm going to go down 1, and then to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2, or up 1 to the left 2. You notice where they already meet, like we can already see that, right? So let's try like that. And we're going to just move that down. So where do they meet? They meet right there at -2, +2. So you can't just stop right here. This is not just about graphing the lines. You actually have to find the solution. So this is our solution right here. So that's going to be at -2, +2. Remember, x comes first, so that's your answer. Okay. And then let's go with this one right here on the right-hand side. Again, our +1. And then our slope, so if this is a regular number, it's like a whole number like this, remember it's just over 1. So it's gonna be 4 over 1. It's not just 4. You just don't go up 4 and be like, that's it. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So it's over 1 too, because there's no tilt to it, right? It has to be tilted. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the right 1. Or we're gonna go down 4 and then to the left. Remember this counts as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1. And then we're going to just draw our line like that. Ooh, not a great line. It still works. All right, make sure you're making your lines long enough. And then we're going to do the same thing for the second one. Let's make that, again, green. Well, I guess it's too many different same colors here. So let me get orange then. So -2, so that's going to be here at -2. And then our slope is 1. Remember, because if there's no number there, that's definitely a 1. And so it's 1 over 1. So that's going to be up 1 and to the right 1, because they're both positive. Or down 1 to the left 1. And then here we got our line. Perfect, just like that. All right, and where do they cross? Right here at -1, -3. So that's gonna be -1, -3. Boom, just like that. All right, and now we're gonna keep on, we're just gonna practice some more. Our numbers are a little bit bigger. Try it out. Please give it a try instead of, just copying what I'm doing, because that doesn't do that much for your brain. You actually have to try and do it yourself. So we're starting, okay, please, I will not be offended if you just press pause, right? I'm not gonna know. All right, that's gonna be 8. And so we're gonna go, next point is gonna be at 9, -2, or -9, 2. I would say go down 9 and then to the right 2. Down is already negative, so the bottom number has to be positive. Okay, so down 9 and then to the right 2. Down 9 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then to the right. Okay, and if you notice, I can't go up 9 and to the left 2 because it's like way up here, right? So those are the only, I can only make 3 dots. So here's my point. Like this. Ish. I got the angle right about. And then we're going to go and do the next point. Right here. So I'm going to use green here. So we're going to, again, start at -7. Here's -7. Make sure you're on the correct side. And then still stay on the y-axis. And then our slope is going to be blue. And then that's going to be 3/1. So it's going to be up 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. Up 3 to the right 1. Ooh, we already know where they cross. And then let's draw that line. Just like that. A little bit under. Oh, a little under, so I can just move them. There we go. About there. And you see where they cross? Right here. So that's going to be at, where is it? 2, -1. So 2, -1. There we go. The 2 lines, they meet. At least they're not parallel, because if they were parallel, then they would never meet. They're so, just never meet. So sad. They're walking side by side, never meeting. All right, let's get started here. What is this nonsense here? We're going to start at -8. Our slope is 8/1, right? So we're going to go up 8 to the right 1, up 8 to the right 1. Can't go down 8 to the left ones because, you know, there's no room. And then we're going to do the bottom one. So we're going to start at 7. Again, on the y-axis, 7. And then our slope is 1/2. We're just going to go up 1 to the right 2. Ooh, we already know where they meet. You see it. Or down 1, left 2. I think the biggest thing is a lot of people switch it. So they go like right 1 and then up 2. Yeah, don't do that. All right, and here we go. And we're going to just, ooh. I've been like drawing these points. And I didn't even like, I didn't draw the points. I draw the line. Oh, sorry. There we go. There's our first one and our second one. Let's make that this color. So this was our first line that we were supposed to draw, that we did not draw. There we go. And where do they meet? Let's look, trying to make it more accurate. I'm not making a very good one for that one. Okay, so here we go. So this guy, where they meet, that's right here at 2, +8. Here's 2, 8. Got it. All right, and then, so that's how we do systems with graphing using slope-intercept form. Well, what if they're not? This isn't slope-intercept form, what do you do? We've done with finding intercepts, but the one thing I don't like about that is that it's not always accurate. Like sometimes if it gives you a decimal, then you can't like be accurate about that. And I'm all about being accurate, right? So we're just going to change this to slope-intercept form. So there's going to be a little bit of work here to do. So we're going to take this top one right here. 8x minus 7y is equal to -21. So the first thing to do when you're solving for y is we're going to just subtract 8x on both sides. Got to get rid of that first. All right, and what do we get? These cancel out and get -7y. Please do not add these. This one, the 21 does not have an x. So it's going to be -8x minus 21. We just write them separately, 2 separate things. And now we're going to let's see, divide by -7 for everything. Divide by -7. So when we write this, the 7s are going to cancel out, and we're going to just get y is equal to negative divided by negative is positive, and 7 does not go into 8 evenly. So we're just going to leave that as a fraction. We like fractions, remember, because this will help us the rise and the run, right? And then negative 21 divided by negative 7 is positive 3. Okay, and then so we're going to start at 3 right there. Oop, that does not look 3 right there. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And then again, our slope is going to be 8/7. So we're going to go up 8. So actually, I'm not going to be able to make it to up 8 to the right 7. So I'm going to go down 8 and to the left 7. Okay, because I know the line is going to look like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then to the left 7. So right about there. Right, so there's my line like that. Let's draw our line. Ooh, look at that, not that. Right, there we go. And then let's try the second one. Let's make it blue. I'm gonna just write this on the left-hand side right here. So 3x plus 7y is equal to negative 56. Again, we're gonna get, the steps are always the same. It does not change. Okay, so we're just going to subtract 3x on both sides. And what do we get? We're gonna, x's cancel out, we get 7y is equal to negative 3x minus 56. Remember, we can't add those together. They don't add, they're not like terms. A lot of people want to be like, oh yeah, just add them together, negative 59. No, it doesn't work like that. And then again, like we said before, we're going to divide by 7, everything by 7. So we get y is equal to, 7 does not go into 3 evenly, so we're just going to go negative 7, or negative 3/7 x minus 8, right? So again, we're going to start with this minus 8 down here. That's going to be negative 3/7, so we're going to go down 3 into the right 7. But notice we can't go down 3. So that means we got to go the exact opposite. So we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 7. Oh, look where we meet. You see where we meet. All right, so there we go. And so we're going to just draw that line a little off. I'm just going to readjust it. Something like that. So do you see where they meet right there? That's what that's going to be. So that's going to be at negative 7, negative 5. So negative 7, negative 5. Please make sure you're not just graphing it, but you're also saying what the answer is. See what I'm saying? And here we go. We're going to do that. So it's the exact same thing. We're just going to rewrite it into slope-intercept form. So there's a little bit, do you see what I'm saying? A little bit of algebra going on here. But then we're just going to be graphing them after that. Again, subtract the 12x on both sides. And we're going to get, oh, where's my purple? There's 5y is equal to negative 12x plus 40. And then we're going to divide by 5, divide everything by 5. I realize that my 5s look like s's. Not good. All right, so y is equal to negative 12 over 5. Please do not change them to mixed fractions. We don't do mixed fractions here. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Then we're going to start here at 8, negative 12. So I'm going to go down 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then to the right 5. Because down was the negative part. Can't do that again. So I'm just going to just draw my line. So I was a little off on this one. By little, I mean a lot. So let me readjust this. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next one. I'm going to make that blue. We'll just put it down here. So here it is. So 2x plus 5y is equal to negative 10. And we're just going to subtract 2x on both sides. Again, a lot of this is just a lot of the same kind of thing. So once you've done it, it becomes a lot easier. Like you're like, oh, this is really not that bad, right? You've never done it before, then of course it's difficult, right? Because you've never done it before. Anything is difficult if you've never done it before. Like seriously, right? So y is equal to negative 2 over 5x minus 2. because 10 divided by 5 is 2. All right, so we're going to start with the -2 right here. And we're going to go down 2 and to the right 5. So down 2 to the right 5. Down 2 to the right 5. Or up 2 to the left 5. Either way is okay. And you can kind of, you can not kind of, you can definitely see where they're starting at. Oh, I thought it would have done it. Oh, well, let's see if this works. There we go. That works. All right. There we go. And they intersect right here at 5, -4. That's just going to be 5, -4. Just like that. All right, so that's how we do those. And oh, now we're going to get into some inequalities here. Are you ready? Exact same skills as we've used before, except we're adding one more thing as we're adding the inequality part, which means since it's an inequality, there's more possible. You think it was frozen? There's more possible solutions, right? Because there's a lot more things that are less than it's just being equal to, right? So again, we're graphing it the exact same way. So this is the -3 right here. So we get a -3 right here. Our slope is -1/2. So we're going to go down 1 and then to the right 2. Or we're going to go up 1 to the left 2. Either way is okay. So if you notice right here, we have this inequality, and anything that does not have that equal sign underneath, that the line underneath, means that it's just, this is just less than, right? I don't know which way you can see it. Does it the mirror? I don't know. But anyways, so if there's no equal to sign underneath, that means it cannot equal this line. So we're just going to do a little like dotted expedition here. So a little dotted line. It's not good. It looks. Okay, and then the only other thing we need to do is we need to figure out which way to shade, right? So we always pick a point. I like to choose an easy point like 0, 0, just because it's like a lot less calculations. And so if you notice right here, this dotted line, like split up the line, the plane into like 2 parts, right? We have this lower section right here, and we have this upper section right here. And the point 0, 0 is on the upper section. So we're going to check if that point 0, 0 is a solution, right? Does it work? Right? And what I mean by does it work is if I plug in, remember 0, 0, remember x's are 0 is x and this 0 is for y. So we're going to plug that in for this x and y. So 0 is less than -1/2 times 0 minus 3. See how we're putting the x and the y? So here, let me just see if I can pull it into this x is this x, which is this x. Okay. And this y is this y, which is this y. You see how they're related? Colors. All right. And so we want to see, is this true? So I'm just going to simplify this as 0 is less than. Okay, -1/2 times 0 is 0. Minus 3 is -3. Is 0 less than -3? No. 0 is bigger than -3. It's not less than -3, right? Which means that 0, 0 is not a solution, right? It doesn't work. Which means where's all the solutions? On the other side. So it's all going to be over on this side right here. I like to put in arrows here just because we have 2 and they're going to overlap, right? And so we just want to see where do they overlap. So normally I would just shade it if it was just one inequality, right? But there's 2, so we need to do 2. So here we go. Let's try the second one. So again, we have this -1 right here. Let's start right there at -1. And it's going to be 1/2, so it's going to be up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2, or down 1 to the left 2. Either way. And again, this is dotted because it's not, there's no line underneath. Oh, so I'm trying my best. All right, there we go. And again, we're going to check to see if 0, 0, since 0, 0 is not on the line, it is above the line. It can be below the line, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not on the line, it's fine. So, because we want to check which side. So 0, 0. Is that a solution? So we're going to plug in 0 for x, or 0 for y, and 0 for x. So we got 1/2 times 0, which is 0. And what is 0 minus 1? -1. Is 0 less than -1? No, 0 is not less than -1. 0 is more than -1. So this, again, is not a solution, right? So It's not on the upper side, it's on the lower side. So it's going to be on this side. So now we have two lines, right? And they cross. And so do you see how we have like these four sections here? We got this lower section. Okay, so we have this upper section right here. We have this one to the right. We have the third one on the bottom, and we have this fourth one on the left, right? Where are all the lines pointing to, right? Definitely not at one, right? Because they're all going away from one. So it's definitely not one, because remember, that's where 0, 0 is at. It's definitely not at 0, 0. 2, only the purple one is pointing to 2, but not the blue one. Same thing with the number 4 side, right? Only the blue one's pointing to it, but not the purple one. So do you see this 3 section right here? That's the one where both of them are pointing to, right? This is under the purple and the blue. That's where we want to go, right? So this is our shading part right here. We're going to shade all this section right here. Oh, not above. Oh. I just erase everything. Shoot. Wait, let me do this. Do that again. Anything under here is good. There we go. Right, and then you just shade that section. You only shade one section. You don't shade all all 4 or 2 of them, or it's just always one, because there's only going to be one that fits that criteria, or both criterias. All right, we're going to do the same thing for 38. So we're going to start at -1 and go 1/2, -1/2. So down 1 to the right 2, or up 1 to the left 2. And this time it's going to be solid because we have that line there. So I'm going to use my little tool right here. Not bad. we need to figure out if we're going to shade up or down. Again, we're going to choose 0, 0. And -1/2 times 0 minus 1. So we get 0 is less than or greater than or equal to, that's going to be 0 minus 1. So it's -1. Is 0 greater than or equal to -1? Yes, this works, right? So that's works. So we know that 0, 0 is a solution, which means all this side right here, all the upper side, that's going to be a solution. This works. Anything over here is a solution. Happy days. Okay, now we're going to try that for the second one. Right here, we're going to start at +2. So here's our +2 right here. -2, remember it's over 1. We're going to go down 2 and then to the right one. The right one. And again, this one right here is going to be a solid line because we have that line underneath. Those are some things that I would write in your notes. Well, that was not a very good job. Let me just readjust that. I did a terrible job on that one. All right, so right about there. Okay, so then from here, we're going to again check 0, 0. Notice that 0, 0 is below the blue line. So again, we're going to check that. So 0 is greater than or equal to -2 times 0 plus 2. Honestly, in my head, I just go automatically to this, right? Because I just do it in my head. And I see, is that true or not? Right? But this is literally what you're doing. So 0 is greater than or equal to 2. -2 times 0 is 2. Is 0 greater than or equal to 2? No, it doesn't fit any of those. So 0, 0 is not a solution, which means it's on the opposite side of that line, right? Of the 0, 0, right? So it's not on the left-hand side, it's on the right-hand side. So now, like we said before, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 regions, right? And so we know it's definitely not at 4 because it's not pointing, none of those lines are pointing to that, right? So 1 was, well, I guess you can tell. So it has to be above the purple line. So that means 3 and 4 out, which means it has to be 1 or 2. But it has to be to the right of the blue line, so which means it has to be 2. So 2 is our, let's see if I can, oh, you can't see 2 anymore. It's gone. Right, that's going to be our shaded region right there. Okay. I think we have a couple more to practice on. Ooh, and then we have our inequalities, our other kind of inequalities with just one variable. Okay, let's do this. Ooh, see, they're now in Oh, what is this called? Standard form. So we're going to just change it just like how we did before. We're going to just change it to, what is it called? Y-intercept, slope-intercept form. And just like what we did before, so subtract 7x, nothing is different. All the same steps. The negative 6y is greater than negative 7x plus 18. Now you get rid of the negative 6, again, by dividing everything by negative 6. And remember, you might want to put this down in your notes. If you're dividing by a negative number, or multiplying by a negative number for that matter, you have to flip the signal. Not the signal, the sign. So if it was like this, you switch it to this. The reason why is because the negatives make like bigger numbers. Let me show you. So for example, we know that 10 is greater than 5, right? That's true. 10 is bigger than 5. But and if we multiply this by a negative number like negative 2, right? That's negative 2. Right, in this case, I'm multiplying by 2, negative 2. So what do we get? This is gonna mean negative 20 is greater than negative 10. Is negative 20, see now that we have a negative number, our bigger number now just became a big negative number, right? And that's negative 20 is not greater than negative 10. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's why we have to flip that. And if you guys were wondering where I got 10 and 5, that was just my brain. Like I'm just showing you why we flip it. But that's the reason why. Okay. Now, back to our regularly scheduled thing problem. So y, now we're going to flip it, right? Because we divided by negatives. And so this can be 7 over 6x minus 3. You may wonder, well, where did the negatives go? Remember, negative divided by negative is going to be a positive number. That's why we're just going to leave it as positive or change it to positive. And then positive 18 divided by negative 6 can be negative 3 or minus 3. All right, let's go. We're going to go minus 3. And then we're going to go 7, 6. So it's going to be up 7. That's 3, 7 over 6. Or down 7. 7 and then over 6. They should line up just like that. And then we got our, it's going to be solid or dotted. And we have that it's, there's no equal to sign underneath. So it's going to be dotted. So, oh, not bad, not bad. That works. So 0, 0 is clearly on the top side here. So I'm going to plug in again 0 for x and y. So it's going to be 7 times 0 minus 6 times 0 is greater than 18. And if they're multiplying by 0, it's just going to be 0 is greater than 18. Is that true? Is 0 greater than 18? No, that 0 is not bigger than 18. So we know that this is not a solution. So the left-hand side is not the solution. All the solutions are down here. All right. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. So we got x minus 3y is greater than or equal to negative 6. Again, we're going to subtract x on both sides. And we get negative 3y is equal to negative x minus 6. And then we're going to divide everything by negative, oh, I forgot my inequality, sorry. Negative 3. And again, we're dividing by negative, which means that we're going to have to flip this, the inequality. It's not going to be greater than anymore. It's going to be less than or equal to. And remember, there's no number there, which means that there's going to be a 1 there, like we've said before. Ah, it's not that number. So that's going to be y is less than or equal to 1/3 x plus 2. Okay, 6 divided by 3, 2. All right, so here's our plus 2 right here. We're going to go up 1 to the right 3, up 1 to the right 3, or down 1 to the left 3. Either way is okay. And here it's going to be solid because it is has an equal to sign underneath. And we're just going to draw this line like this. Make sure you're going all the way across, because if you don't, it's going to you're not going to be able to see exactly where to shade. Your shading is going to be a little bit weird, right? So make sure you're going all the way across. I'm a little off. I'm just readjust that. I think that's pretty close. All right, so then let's take a look here. So I have, I need to figure out which way to shade. I didn't do that yet. So let's do that over here, very small. Oh, I'll do it right underneath here. So it's going to be 0 minus 3 times 0. It's greater than or equal to negative 6. All that on the left-hand side of 0 is greater than or equal to negative 6. I always like using the original, so I would get into that habit. 0 is greater than negative 6. Yeah, that's true. 0 is bigger than negative 6. So then that means that we're going to be shading on the side of 0, 0, which is below the orange line. So it's going to be below the orange line here, right? So where are they all pointing to, right? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? And yep, if you see it, they're all pointing to this 3 right here, below the purple line and below the orange line. There we go. All of this is supposed to be shaded. Please don't shade that little 2 area right there. That's not part of it. All right. Okay. So we've not done one like this before where it's just X, and notice that there is no Y. So if it's just X, right? And where's X? X is -2 right here. It means this whole line right here, all of this is -2. So it is a dotted line because not equal to. And where is X less than -2? Less than is all on this left-hand side right here, right? You can logically reason that out. And then this one right here, this one's going to be pretty easy to convert to slope-intercept form. So X minus Y is less than -6. So we're going to subtract X on both sides. And -Y is less than -X minus 6. And then how do we get rid of that negative? Just divide by -1 on everything. And then Y, remember, we're dividing by negative. Okay, it looks like we've divided all of them always by negative, but it's not always that way. If this was a plus, you know, then we wouldn't have to do that. We don't have to change the inequality. But all these examples, we're doing that. So here's plus X plus 6. All right, so here's 6. And we're going to go, remember our slope is just 1 over 1. There's nothing there, it's just 1 over 1. There we go, just like that. This is going to be a dotted line because there's no equal to sign underneath. So I'm just going to kind of be as accurate. I'm just trying to keep my slope of 1. There we go. There's my arrows. I forgot all my arrows completely. Bad days. All right, so which way is that going to go? So again, this is going to be 0 minus 0 is less than -6. Is 0 less than -6? No, 0 is not less than -6, right? It's greater than -6. So it's not going to be on this side of 0, 0. It's going to be on the upper side, on the opposite side. So again, everything is pointing to this part right here, this portion. Coloring time, right? There we go. So that's what it is. There's a little bit of white parts here, but you know, it's not working. There we go, just like that. All right, guys, good job. We're almost at the end. We have like 6 more problems to go. So if you made it this far, yeah, pat yourself. Okay, the one thing I don't like about this is that this is like so close to this problem, but so I'm going to just rewrite this problem underneath here. All right. Well, actually, I'm not going to rewrite it because that's just, we're just going to solve this like we've been doing like since like problems 1 through whatever it was in the beginning, right? It's just solving an equation. The difference is that this is an inequality instead of an equal sign. That's what it's called, solve the inequality, right? And so first we're going to distribute this parentheses. So we're going to go -6, distribute the parentheses. We're going to distribute the -6 into the parentheses. So that's going to be -6m, and this is going to be plus 30 plus 4 is greater than or equal to 82. All right, and then again, we have some like terms here on the left-hand side. So it's going to be -6m plus 34 is greater than or equal to 82. Anything we're not using, we're just copying it down. And now, again, it's just a 2-step inequality. Can't say 2-step equation because it's simply not an equation. All right, subtract the 34, and what do we get? 6m is greater than or equal to 48. There we go. And we're now going to divide by 6. So notice we're dividing by a positive 6, so we don't need to flip any inequality. So we're just going to get m is greater than or equal to, not 7, I was totally going to say 7, is greater than or equal to 8. Something's wrong. Notice all these are negatives. Where am I getting? Oh, you see what was wrong? You see this was a -6. Oh, now it looks like we have to divide by negative. That means that we're dividing actually by a negative because, you know, originally it was a negative. What does that mean, guys? Yep, we have to flip the inequality. So now we did actually have to divide by negative, so we do have to change it to less than. All right, so now we're going to go over here. Oh, and it should be negative, by the way. So at -8, so is this going to be open or closed? This one is going to be closed because, again, we have the equal to sign underneath. So again, if these are not equal to, this is just going to be open. And if it's going to be closed, if it is equal to, it's like that. That's something that you should probably write down, you know, as part of your notes. And so where's m less than -8? And that's everything to the left. So we're just going to put an arrow. Make sure you're putting that arrow there because to show that it goes on. All right, same thing over here on the right-hand side. We're going to just distribute the 6. So we're not using the -174 yet. And this is going to be 6 times 1, which is 6, plus 6 times 6, which is going to be 36b. That might look not like my 6. And again, it's just a 2-step. So we're just going to subtract 6 on both sides. And then we get -180 less than 36b. Right? And then we just need to, oh, come on. It's not 1980. Oh, now we're going to have to divide by 36. Wasn't I stuck with blue, orange last time? Blue. All right, and so this is going to be b. Now you can't just change these now, okay? Because this is not an equal sign. So if b's on the right, it stays on the right. Okay, and this is going to be 180 divided by 36. Using my handy dandy calculator, I get 5. And so remember this, one of them was negative, so it's going to be -5. So this is kind of, I know my number is going to be at -5. Open because there's no equal to sign underneath. But remember the b is on the side that's greater than. It says -5 is less than b. So if we change this, if we flip it, it's going to be b is greater than. Notice the big part of the inequality is facing the b. That has to continue to be the same. Or we can say b is greater than -5, which means we're going to go, oh, that's a weird one. We're going to go to the right. Right, that's just supposed to be an arrow going to the right. Sorry, these are a little tiny, huh? All right, and we got 2 more different things going on. The exact same things, but just we're adding a little bit of extra things on it. We've done these before. All right, so this one I do have to copy down. So, forgot I did change the coloring. So this is -27 is less than 9 minus 4x less than 33. So normally we would just have one inequality, but here we have 2. These are what we call compound inequalities. And so basically we're just going to do it like how we've been doing. So normally we would get rid of the 9. So we're going to subtract 9. You see how we would normally do it this way? But we have to do that one more time for the other inequality on the other side. Oh, that's so bouncy. There we go. All right, so now the 9s are going to cancel out. We get -36 on the right, or on the left, is less than -4x, which is less than, this is going to be 24. All right, so now, so it's for 3 different, we have to do it 3 times. And this is the same thing with this too. We're going to divide by -4. The steps don't change. We just got to just do it an additional time because we have actually 3 sides instead of just 2 sides. And then we are dividing by negative, which means we do have to flip it with the inequality. So we're going to end up getting, let's write this on the bottom here. So 9 is greater than x, which is greater than negative 6. All right. So 9 is greater than x, which is greater than negative 6. So I know my 2 points are going to be at negative, oops, that doesn't want negative 6 and 9. So here's 8 and 10, which means 9 is right in the middle. They're both going to be open because there's no equal to sign underneath. So we know that x is somewhere in between that, so we know it's going to just be just like that. Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing for this one. Let's see if we change it now. Oh, good. So we're going to go negative 12 is less than or equal to negative 6 plus 3n is less than or equal to 12. All right. Same thing. I like sometimes you like if you want to put like these dotted lines here to kind of show you where the sides are to kind of help you organize it in your brain. That works too. And so what do? We're going to add 6 again, all 3 sides. And what does that equal? We get negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6 is less than or equal to, cancels out, we get 3n less than or equal to 18. And then we're going to divide by 3. And we're dividing by a positive 3, so we don't have to change the inequality. I think this is the first one we don't have to do that with. This negative 2 is greater or less than or equal to n, which is less than or equal to 6. So again, these are with the lines underneath, so it can't equal it. It's a closed circle, and negative 2, and at 6, and we're going to just put a line in between because n is somewhere in between there. And it could be anything in between there. There's a lot of possibilities, right? So that's how you do those. And then for the last ones, these ones are, it's an OR, so it's 2 different inequalities. It's not asking you to choose which one, you're going to do both, okay? A lot of people were thinking, oh, I get to choose which one. Oh, great. No, not choosing. All right, so here we go. This is the first one. And it's going to be, so we're going to just add 8 to both sides, just like how we've been, again, 2-step. So 10r is less than negative 88. Just kidding. Negative 80. And then we're just going to divide by 10. And so we're going to just do r is less than negative 8. There we go. So r is less than negative 8. So here's 8. And we're going to go to the left because it's less than. And we're going to do the other side. So we got an OR. 3r plus 9 is greater than 12, right? So what do we do from there? Again, subtract 9. We get 3r is greater than 3. We're going to divide by 3. And we get r is greater than 1. So remember, so this is an OR, so we're saying both of these work. So either r has to be less than 8, negative 8, or r has to be greater than 1. Like those are the 2 options. It can't be anything that is not either of those. It can either be on one side or the other side. So here's 1, and it is not equal to, so we're going to just be like that and to the right, because that's where r is greater than. So this ORs usually look like this. Usually, not always, but usually, like 95% of the time. And then the ones up here, these ones, we call them ands, because it could be both. It's somewhere in between, so it's going to be like this and or you can't say that, or. All right, last problem, guys. Good job. We're done. Okay, so I'm going to just copy down these problems. Negative 2 plus n is less than or equal to negative 12, or let me make that a different color just to change things up. Or 2 plus 4n is greater than or equal to 14, right? And let's solve them. So here we're going to just add 2 to both sides. And we get n is less than or equal to negative 10. Nothing else to do because there's no number in front. We're good to go. So that's going to be negative 10. It is going to be solid. Closed line, closed circle, right? And then less than is going to go this way. Right, and then our green one, our green equation is going to be, again, we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. And you get 4n is greater than or equal to 12. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and you get n is greater than or equal to 3, right? So there's going to be 3 right here in between, going to the right. So that's where it's greater than. So again, our solution is going to be n is less than or equal to negative 10, or n is greater than or equal to 3. Just like that. They don't always have to be both like less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. One of them could be just less than, you know, it doesn't always have to have the line underneath. These just happen to be the same. And again, like I said before, all the answers are here. So please check them and make sure I did it right. Make sure you did it right. See if you look at the last, oh, look, see, that's exactly what we said. Negative 10 and 3. Here, negative 10 and 3. Yay. All right, good luck, do well. I will see you guys later.